Is Jeff Nippard an idiot? No.
Alright, what's going on, guys? So in this video I want to talk about clean eating.
What's up, guys? Will Personal Training here today. Responding to a video that Jeff Nippard recently came out with where he posed the question whether clean eating was bad. I'm so happy to talk about this. I'm so happy that someone's finally speaking out against the BS that clean eating is, and people are finally going to realize how pointless and needless it is. So I'm going to go over his video. I'm going to talk about some of the points he made, and I'm going to tell you whether it's wrong, right, and whether I agree with it or not.
So the first issue is that no one seems to agree on what clean eating actually means, and this has very practical implications. If you talk to your typical bodybuilder, they'll give you a short list of 6 or 7 foods, something like chicken, egg whites, brown rice, sweet potato, oatmeal, and protein powder.
So the first problem that Jeff proposes with clean eating is that no one actually agrees on the definition of clean eating or what clean eating actually is. And I can 100% agree with that. I've had a lot of experience with people at gyms, or especially working as a personal trainer. I've followed the bodybuilding industry for years now. I've followed the powerlifting industry for years now. What people seem to think is that clean eating is just like, oh bro, chicken and broccoli, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna pre-make my meals and chicken and broccoli and I'm gonna get jacked, dude. I'm freaking Ronnie Coleman, which, I mean, that's cool, but you know, what if you add some white bread in there? Is that clean now? Oh bro, no, not clean, bro. White bread's bad. Okay, whole wheat bread. Oh dude, that's clean. Yeah, that's clean. And then another person will say, oh dude, no bread at all, bro. Rice, dude. That's where you got your carbs, bro. Rice, that's it. Bro, I eat white bread every day. I'm freaking more jacked than you. Like, why should you adhere to something that has no clear definition? Stupid. He thinks it's stupid. I think it's stupid.
So the second problem I notice with clean eating, especially when it comes to fat loss, is that even if it technically works, which it can, it's still needlessly inconvenient. For most people, a true commitment to clean eating means you're not able to partake in special occasions or enjoy dinners with friends or family because what's on the menu is off limits.
So the second problem that he brings up with clean eating is that even if it works, it's still needless and pointless, which I 100% agree with. 100% agree with. So here's how you lose fat, okay? So you find out your caloric maintenance and you eat below your caloric maintenance. Bam, you just lost fat. Good for you. You did it. You just lost fat. That's what's up. So here's how you build muscle. You train at least minimum effective volume for whatever muscle group you're targeting. You eat in a small caloric surplus and you hit the necessary protein intake a day that will optimize performance. Now, what really matters is when you look at clean eating is people try to do it to lose fat. That's the real world application of it because that's where most of it gets applied in the real world, okay? So why should you eat a caloric deficit of a bunch of food that you don't like or food that's gonna not satisfy you or food that's gonna lead to cravings when you can just have food that you enjoy, right? Maybe have some good foods in there, obviously get some protein in, maybe some cleaner foods to get some protein in, but why would you just eat straight clean foods, which is just apparently 5 or 6 foods, but no one really knows what it is? When you can have some nice foods, you can get a chocolate bar every night, just maintain your caloric deficit and hit the gym, and then you're gonna lose fat. What's the point? Clean eating is not even sustainable for most people anyway, just completely pointless. It needs to go away, right? Keep with the caloric deficit, eat foods you like in that deficit, and you will be successful.
Clean eating just isn't the most effective strategy for long-term fat loss for most people. One study from 2012 gave 2 groups the same diet, except one group wasn't allowed to eat bread and the other group was. In reality, after 16 weeks, both groups lost the same amount of fat, but the group that was told to cut out the bread had way more subjects drop out partway through.
The third problem that he proposes is that it's not very effective, which I went into on the previous point that I definitely 100% agree that it's not as effective. What diet is going to be better for you? One where you're enjoying it or one when you're forcing yourself to eat foods that you may not even like that much just because you think it's better when in reality there's no real benefit. Just get in a caloric deficit, eat below your caloric maintenance, and eat foods that you enjoy. That's what's going to work. So the main thing you battle when you're doing a fat loss phase, especially if you're doing it for the first time ever, is you want to avoid cravings and you want to avoid being very hungry. So what's going to do that? High fiber foods, right? Fruits. Who hates fruits? No one hates fruits. Are fruits unclean? Yes. But does that mean they're bad? No, it doesn't, right? So you're going to be having a lot of fruits in your diet if you're doing this effectively, and then you can have food you like to fill up the rest of the calories, right? So you're going to be having a lot of fruit in your diet, and you're going to want to have a lot of food that you like, because what you don't want to do is have hunger cravings or satisfaction cravings, as I call them, as in, oh man, my hunger's fine, but God, I fucking hated that meal, and now I don't want to freaking eat this anymore, and my fat loss phase is going to be done because I'm going to relapse and I'm going to binge eat on actual foods I like. You have to be happy or satisfied when in a caloric deficit long term if you want a fat loss phase to work for you. That's the simple fact. Are most people, maybe 99% of people, going to be happy clean eating? No, they're not. So why do it? Don't do it.
Right, the fourth issue with clean eating is that it can easily lead to disordered eating. Clean eating implies that if there are good foods, there must also be bad foods. And this is where it can start to go wrong for a lot of people psychologically.
So the next problem that Jeff brings up is that it can lead to disordered eating, or specifically orthorexia. So he makes a point as in that there is no good or bad foods, but I definitely disagree with that, and I don't see the point in making the distinction that no food is bad or no food is good. I think every single person on the planet universally agrees that there are some foods that are bad for you and there's some foods that are good for you. If you're doing a fat loss phase, the food that's going to be good is ones that's going to help you towards your goal, right? So eating fried chicken donuts is obviously a bad food if you're doing a fat loss phase, okay? If you're doing a eat all fried chicken diet, is that necessarily going to be a bad food? Well, I'd still say yes because of the health impacts of eating a ton of fried chicken. But the point is that this whole idea that we shouldn't say that foods are good or bad is kind of ridiculous to me. Every single person on the earth knows that something's good or bad. And how many people have eating disorders? I'd say not many people have eating disorders because of that. And at the end of the day, the way I view it, what makes your diet work is going to be good for you, right? And at the end of the day, if you're eating one piece of fried chicken and you're still in a caloric deficit, is that fried chicken really bad? No, I wouldn't say so. If you're eating a ton of fried chicken, yes, that probably makes the fried chicken bad.
And this brings me to the final problem that I see with clean eating. Even though it's touted as being extremely healthy, it probably isn't as healthy as you think. Now, to be clear, of course, there are foods that promote good health, like fruits and vegetables, and foods that, when eaten too much and too often, can lead to health problems.
So the last point he makes about whether clean eating is bad or not is that it can be unhealthy. Now, this is what I would say. I don't know if that's necessarily true or not. What I would say is unhealthy is what leads to someone failing their goal, okay? So is clean eating going to be unhealthy for Ronnie Coleman? Because that actually truly helped him reach his goal, and that's what he did. And obviously that wasn't unhealthy for him, right? But, you know, Joe at the gym who's 250 pounds and never touched a weight in his life, I think clean eating would probably be unhealthy because that wouldn't be sustainable and that would lead to him just staying, at a very high body fat percentage. That's obviously going to be unhealthy if you're at a very high body fat percentage. Now, if you're someone like Ronnie Coleman and that helps you reach your goal, I don't see any negative health aspects of him eating clean. At the end of the day, what's necessarily going to be the most healthy doesn't matter when you're doing a fat loss phase, especially for the average person. You just want the average person or anybody really to be satisfied and to have enjoyable foods with their diet. If that means they're not being extremely healthy, then so be it if that's what's going to lead them to finish their fat loss phase successfully. All right, guys, this is the end of the video. All in all, I think Jeff Nippard did a very good thing in speaking out and talking about clean eating being bad. I think it's been a myth in the fitness industry for years that you need to eat clean for some reason. If you are in a caloric deficit, you're going to lose fat. If you're in a caloric surplus, probably should be a very small one, you're going to gain weight. That's it, okay? Hit your protein intake if you're in a caloric surplus, which is going to be around 0.75 grams per pound of body weight. And if you're in a fat loss phase, eat foods that you like, okay? You don't have to be forced to eat any certain type of food because it's healthy or because it's clean. That's not going to help you. Eat foods that are satisfying to you and be in a caloric deficit. There you go. You did it. You're going to lose fat now, all right? All right, Will Personal Training. Peace out.